Welcome back, football fans, to another episode of the Prediction Show. It is game week 5 in the Premier League. These are the fixtures for Saturday. We are going to look at them, give some thoughts, early thoughts, gut predictions, and then we're going to dig into the data a little bit, the limited sample size. This is game week 5, keep that in mind, and then we will put together some selections and predictions. So if you're ready, without further ado, let's get into it. Now, of course, a standout game or games from Saturday, Liverpool hosting Everton in the Merseyside derby. Liverpool played on Wednesday night, keep that in mind. Everton have had a week off, essentially, a week to train and prepare for this game. Liverpool needed another late goal as well to win that game. They've won games by a single goal in the last 3 or 4 games, haven't they? Late goals as well, dramatic moments. That's not sustainable, so they will need to up the performances and get back that control that they had last year under Arne Slot. One of the things that he came in and was able to do straight away was just control games. That seems to have gone at this moment in time. And the other pick of the day for sure is Manchester United hosting Chelsea. And Man United again have had a week off, essentially. Chelsea away at Bayern Munich, losing 3-1, and my word, Bayern Munich, how do you stop that trident of players at the top end of the pitch? Harry Kane, Luis Diaz, and Elise, absolutely frightening. Now, as ever, we will be jumping between the fixture feed and the form guide. We'll also check out the player props tool as well at the end of the video. We're just going to start here with games lost, and we can see Liverpool, no defeats in the last 6 games. Crystal Palace, no defeats in the last 6 games. Defensively, they are sound, but can they get the goals at the other end of the pitch now that Eze has gone? Sarr, is he going to play this game? It's not yet been confirmed. Friday's press conferences will tell us a lot. If we scroll to the bottom of this is what I wanted you to see before you make your predictions this weekend. Nottingham Forest, Wolves and West Ham have lost 4 of the last 6 games. They are in the worst form out of all Premier League teams at this moment in time. And each of them has what they would call a good fixture this weekend. Nottingham Forest away at Burnley under Ange Postecoglou. I don't think they're going to get dragged into any relegation battle under him. But Wolves and Leeds, Wolves hosting Leeds, again, you would say that that's a good fixture for Wolves. And West Ham hosting Crystal Palace. We're going to look at West Ham's data in a bit. You would say, on paper, that's a good game for them to kickstart their season and put in a strong performance. Somerville is back for West Ham. He looks to make a difference, really, he does. Now, we are going to start with Liverpool against Everton. And just straight away, it is hard to look past Liverpool for this. I know they are grinding out results, as we'll see here. 3-2 against Atletico Madrid. It was 2-1 at half-time. They were 2-0 up in first 15 minutes, was it? Burnley away. They were all over Burnley for the majority of the game. They just couldn't find a breakthrough. Arsenal was a bit of a unique game. Arsenal coming to Anfield and just sort of not really doing all they could, because as we've seen now in many games this season, if you attack this Liverpool team, you're going to get a bit of joy. And I think Everton will come here without fear. Hello there. Remember to get your predictions in the comments. Hit like whilst you're down there as well. Every comment on this video is automatically entered into a draw to win OddAlerts Pro. The winner will be announced this weekend. Just check your notifications on YouTube because I will reply to the winning comment. Now back to the video. Now, Everton did have that 0-0 result last week, but don't let that put you off their attack, because if you just look at the results tab and take a look at shots for, they had 20 shots against Aston Villa, and they were up against Emi Martinez in sensational form. So can Everton get a goal at Anfield against a Liverpool team that has been conceding in the majority of their games? The recent games between these teams looked like this. We had a 1-0 victory for Liverpool. And you can see here 2 cards for each teams in the majority of these games. 3 cards for Liverpool in this one. 3 cards and 1. A red card for Everton as well. 3 and 1. There is always plenty of cards in this fixture. Unlike the Manchester derby last weekend, which saw none. That was quite surprising. Now, I'm actually going to keep it pretty simple here. We can see Alexander Isak just under evens to score If I remember correctly, Van Dijk got his first goal on his debut against Everton as well, I think. So Isak, of course, started in the Champions League, but potential here for his Premier League debut to come against Everton. I do think he'll start on the bench. I think Ekitike will start this game, but yet to be seen. I'm going to start with BTTS at 1.8. I do have faith in Everton. As I said before, playing without fear. They've got nothing to lose, and they've got good players at the top end of the pitch now. Really good players. It would be a disappointing spectacle if they were to just, after not playing all week as well, to go there and put in a kind of Burnley-esque performance. That's not what they're about. They're better than that, I think, at the moment. I'm then going to go and add in a second half goal for Liverpool. Now, Liverpool have been playing in the week, so there could be some tired legs, could be some rotation. But regardless of that, the late goals that Liverpool are scoring at the moment, the second half goals, the goals where most are coming in the second half, is incredible. So 2.2 already just for BTTS and Liverpool to get a goal in the second half. We are then going to go and look at Everton and say Everton to get over 1 card. And then finally, what I will add to this is Liverpool to win, which gets us to 3.75. So it is quite basic, really. Liverpool to win, I can't, even if Everton score, just the attack of Liverpool at the moment, the way they're playing at the top end of the pitch. Salah looked good in the Champions League. He looked really good, actually, getting into some good spaces. If he's finding his feet again, because he's not been good this season, not yet. Over 1 card for Everton, self-explanatory. Liverpool to score in the second half, and both teams to score. So 3-1, 3-2, 4-1, take your pick. Hope you enjoy this game, and as always, get your predictions in the comments. Now, let's crack on with the rest of the Premier League games for Saturday. Hello there. Remember to get your predictions in the comments. Hit like whilst you're down there as well. Every comment on this video is automatically entered into a draw to win OddAlerts Pro. The winner will be announced this weekend. Just check your notifications on YouTube because I will reply to the winning comment. Now back to the video. Next up, we're going to take a look at the 3 p.m. games and put together a selection, a treble for those fixtures, starting with Wolves. Is it a must-win for Wolves? It certainly feels like it, but the same could be said for Leeds. This is their record at the moment, no goals scored in the last 3 games. Although the run has been quite tough, hasn't it? Arsenal away, Newcastle at home, and then Fulham away. So this is a big game for both of these teams. Wolves 4 defeats on the bounce, but if we look at the last couple of home games, they have scored 5 in the last couple of home games. Yes, one of those was in the Carabao Cup. They'll be desperate to get Strand Larsen back into this team. Again, waiting for those Friday press conferences to see if he's going to play, because it'll make a massive difference. Due to the pressure on both managers and players in this game, I am going to lean towards cards for this game, and we can see here that no team has committed more fouls than Leeds United across the last 6 games. 79 fouls in 6 games. Then we've got Aston Villa, Bournemouth, Chelsea, Newcastle. Incidentally, Wolves with 58 during the same period. Next up, West Ham hosting Crystal Palace. And last week I told you I was worried for Crystal Palace. How are they going to supply Mateta? Well, they didn't. They drew 0-0 at home with Sunderland, a poor result, to be honest, for the FA Cup winners. They've now drawn 3 out of 4 games. They are still unbeaten, but you can see there they're struggling to score goals. They won 3-0 away at Aston Villa, which is pretty damning for Aston Villa. It feels like a big game for Graham Potter at West Ham, and we can see here, in terms of total goals seen, 22 goals in the last 6 games. And look at Crystal Palace by comparison, just 8 goals across the same period. This is goals scored and conceded. 22 across the last 6 for West Ham. Now, these are the results, and I just wanted to show you these because I do have a bit of sympathy for Graham Potter. Yes, they put in some terrible performances, don't get me wrong, but nobody wants to start the season away at Sunderland. Then you welcome Chelsea, who were all over you. Defensively in that game, West Ham were absolutely shocking. Then they let a lead slip against Wolves in the Carabao Cup. Then they did go and beat Nottingham Forest 3-0. flurry of goals towards the end of the game, and then kind of just reverted back to getting battered, losing 3-0 to Spurs. So this now is a good gauge, a good barometer for me for where West Ham are at. One stat that I did want to show you as well is shots on target for. So actually they have had 4 or more shots on target in every game played this season. Next up, Brighton against Tottenham. It is difficult to try and read too much into Brighton's form. They are an inconsistent team. They have runs of doing very well. They have runs of drawing games, runs of losing games, runs of conceding goals. But you know that they can turn up at home and beat anybody, as they showed in the previous game. Amazing performance against Manchester City. And this, what we're going to see now in both of these fixtures, both of the result pages, is the brilliance of Bournemouth. So you can beat Man City and then you can get beat by Bournemouth. But for Tottenham and Thomas Frank, they've kept 4 clean sheets out of 5 games. They've won 4 out of 5 games. The only defeat, the only goal conceded, was at home to Bournemouth in a game where Bournemouth just completely shut them off. They had 1 shot on target in that game, Spurs. So absolutely massive credit to Iriola and Bournemouth for what they are doing this season. Now, Tottenham played on Tuesday, but if we take a look at the shots on target, they had 1 shot on target again against Villarreal. They got the goal early due to a mistake, and they just defended. And it was a pretty professional performance. You never really felt that Villarreal were going to get a goal or trouble them too much. They didn't have the majority of the possession, Tottenham, and it's a different kind of Spurs. The transition from Angie's Spurs to what we've seen recently is chalk and cheese. Looking at the head-to-head, we can see that Brighton have scored 7 goals and 2 victories against Spurs in the last couple of meetings. And believe it or not, they are favourites for this game. Spurs played on Tuesday, so they should be fine for this game in terms of the fitness, but the bookies are backing Brighton, and I think that's potentially a bit of a trap, given how well Tottenham have started this season. Now, one thing Brighton are good at is scoring goals. 14 in the last 6 games, joint second here. Only Manchester City has more. Cards again could be the play potentially here. Brighton's opponents have been booked more than anyone else's in the last 6 games. If you want to check out the form guide, you can tweak all the settings on this page. It is in the description. And now we're going to take a look at yellow cards for. We can see that Brighton are second only to AFC Bournemouth, and Tottenham are actually joint second as well. So potentially quite a few fouls in this game. So for the 3 p.m. treble, the first selection I'm going to put on is Leeds to get over 1.5 cards. 1.5 are the odds, which I think is pretty generous. We saw in the data they're committing a lot of fouls this season. And the next thing we're going to look at, again, it's something that's happened in every game this season. I think Crystal Palace are not in the best shape in terms of the players that they have available. Wharton might be back from injury. Sarr might be back from injury, but again, they're not going to be fresh. It's not been confirmed. We are going to go and look at shots on target for West Ham to have over 3.5 shots on target, as they have had in every game so far this season. Gets us to 2.7. And then for the final selection, let's move to the Brighton Spurs game. For the final selection, I'm going to go with Brighton to get a couple of cards in this game. 3.78. Incidentally, Tottenham to get a couple of cards is just a little bit lower, 1.35 I think it was. So the bookies are expecting cards in this game, 3.78. And it looks like this. Wolves against Leeds. Leeds to get a couple of cards. West Ham to have over 3.5 shots. And Brighton to get over 1.5 cards. So we don't need to predict how many teams are going to score. We're not predicting the result. We're not predicting BTTS here. It is quite low risk, and 3.78 for the 3 p.m. games. As always, get your comments in. Let me know what you think. Now then, for Manchester United against Chelsea, this is going to be a Discord exclusive. I'm going to post the analysis and predictions and get all of the Discord users to add theirs as well. For Manchester United against Chelsea, tricky game to call. Garnacho may feature against his old club, of course. Manchester United just look terrible, don't they? I think if they get battered here, Amorim is as good as gone in the October international break. That has been the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. 2 selections. If you want a video for Sunday, you know what to do already. 1,000 likes is the target as always, and there's some cracking games on Sunday as well. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.